We start this hour with a fascinating case happening in Boston. It involves the murder of a Boston police officer, and the officer's girlfriend, Karen Reed, is the accused. But she says she's being framed. Jennifer McCabe, homeowner Brian Albert's sister-in-law, was searching on her phone how long to die in cold on January 29th, 2022 at 2:27 a.m. There is simply no innocent explanation for McCabe's search at that time. The evidence unequivocally exonerates Karen Reed because it establishes that individuals who were in the house at 34 Fairview that night were aware that John was dying in the snow before Karen even knew that he was missing.
Sources say investigators have video of the incident on doorbell cameras.
Now, in addition to that very incriminatory Google search, Reed's attorneys also discovered that they apparently deleted 18 calls from that night, as well as 7 phone calls between Albert and McCabe. The prosecution's case just might get destroyed tonight. Boy, does that stink. Almost as bad as the facts of this case stink. Josh Schiffer.
We talk all the time about how trials in criminal justice is so often a quest to hide something. The defense stood up and said, hey, we know there's this evidence out there. And the judge turned around and shut them down. I am flabbergasted. I would be as uproariously angry as counsel was. I'm shocked that the truth is being stymied here by the state in what really looks like a cover-up now.
I think Karen Reed is innocent, and I think they believe this with all of their hearts.
Yeah, I'm with you. I know a lot of our courties think so too. They think that this is an innocent woman who's being framed and just outnumbered. There's nothing worse than a dirty cop. You know, I'll take a criminal all day long before a dirty cop, right? Because they're
held to a higher standard.
And that maybe those bite marks we're looking at right there might have been from a dog.
There's zero question of that.
You know, in the house or from a fight. You know, who knows? If they're right, I mean, what might happen there to this department?
Well, sadly, Julie, we're not talking potentially about a dirty cop. We may be talking about several dirty cops. There's a conspiracy here, and it's going to force certain individuals to answer very, very hard questions because that evidence is going to be irrefutable. Phone calls that were made, phone calls that were placed, received, research that was done, Google searches, things of that nature, that there is no way to explain away. As an investigator, this is exactly the kind of evidence that I rely on. Who are the first 5 people they spoke to? Develop their identities, interview those folks. What did you talk about? What was the conversation with? Like, what was that person's demeanor? What was going on? You can't push back on because it is irrefutable. You have to explain these details.
You're trusting that someone else did an honest investigation. Did they not see what might be happening?
And like good cops, good prosecutors get angry when they see that kind of corruption, the mere appearance of impropriety. Whenever you see something that just doesn't pass the smell test, and that's what we've got here from the outside looking in, I can see how this case unfolds, how the scapegoat, Miss Reed, gets picked, and how this case proceeds to right now.
Who lost the love of her life, who is being falsely accused, and who is going through this process probably as shocked and appalled as the rest of us.
You're right. Yeah, she went through a trauma. That's one thing to remember, too. You know, she might be a defendant, but she was traumatized without question, trying to save his life, trying to do CPR at the end of all of that.